The year was 2008, and the coastal town of Port Angeles, Oregon, was bathed in the golden light of a crisp and sunny morning. Mary Johns, a 38-year-old marine biologist, stood at the shore, her eyes fixed on the waves that kissed the pebbled beach. From a young age, she had felt a deep connection to the sea, a connection tinged with a haunting curiosity that led her to explore its depths in search of marine life. This morning, however, Mary's heart raced with an eerie anticipation. She had heard whispers of a hidden reef known only to a few locals, a place of great mystery that was said to house some of the ocean's most secretive and chilling inhabitants. With her full name echoing a sense of purpose, she had set out early to embark on a solo dive to uncover the unsettling secrets of this underwater world. Port Angeles had a dark and enigmatic maritime history, and its deep blue waters held mysteries that had long fascinated Mary. The setting for her adventure was a rugged and isolated stretch of coastline where nature had remained untamed. A remote cove surrounded by towering cliffs concealed the entrance to this aquatic realm. As Mary descended into the cold emerald waters, her sense of adventure and love for the ocean kept her spirits high. The underwater world she encountered was an ethereal paradise, with schools of colorful fish darting among swaying kelp forests. The eerie silence of the depths sent shivers down her spine, yet her unquenchable curiosity pushed her deeper into the abyss. Hours passed, and the sun began its descent towards the horizon. Mary's sense of time faded as she lost herself in the underwater beauty. Little did she know that her exploration would soon turn into a harrowing encounter, one that would test her character to the limits and chill her to the bone. As Mary gracefully glided along the vibrant reef, an unexpected chill raced down her spine when she noticed two colossal shadows lurking in the deep. Her heart skipped a beat as she comprehended the immense size of the creatures before her. It was none other than the great white shark, the ocean's undeniable apex predator. She knew that her life hung in the balance, and her survival instincts kicked in, coursing through her veins like icy dread. With every ounce of strength, Mary kicked her way to the surface, her heart pounding in her chest. The great white sharks pursued relentlessly, its powerful form cutting through the water with terrifying grace. Mary's thoughts raced as she struggled to outswim the relentless predators, her every breath echoed by the menacing silence of the deep. Back on the boat, a group of local fishermen watched in shock as the epic chase unfolded before their eyes. They knew that time was of the essence, and they had to act swiftly to help Mary resurface to the safety of their vessel. Captain Dave, a seasoned fisherman with years of experience on these treacherous waters, barked quick orders to his crew to get the buoy ready and grab the life ring. The fishermen scrambled to obey, realizing they were Mary's only hope. Meanwhile, Mary continued to struggle, her energy waning as the relentless predators closed in. Just as it seemed she might be overtaken, she spotted the glimmering surface above. With her last reserves of strength, she pushed herself upward, breaking through the water's surface with a gasp of relief. The fishermen on the boat wasted no time. They threw the buoy into the water and tossed the life ring in Mary's direction. The circle of foam bobbed on the surface, and Mary, her limbs heavy and aching, reached out and clung to it for dear life. The great white sharks circled menacingly, snapping their jaws. But the fishermen's swift actions had bought her a precious moment. Captain Dave and his crew hauled Mary back to the safety of the boat, their hands trembling with the adrenaline of the rescue. Once on board, Mary collapsed, gasping for breath and shivering with a mixture of fear and relief. The fishermen encircled her, their expressions a mix of admiration and concern. As they sped away from the area, Mary couldn't help but reflect on the danger she had faced and the incredible rescue. The bond between her and the fishermen, forged in that intense moment, was a testament to the extraordinary courage and resourcefulness of those who call the ocean their home. Mary John's encounter with the great white sharks served as a haunting reminder of the unpredictable and awe-inspiring world that lay beneath the surface of the ocean, a world that could chill the soul and test the character of even the bravest explorer. The year was 1992, and the tranquil town of Azure Coast Beach, Florida, held a beauty all its own. It was a crisp, early morning as the sun began its gradual ascent, casting a soft, golden hue upon the pristine shoreline. The rhythmic symphony of waves crashing against the shore reverberated through the air. Jason Anderson, a 28-year-old man with a passion for the ocean, was gearing up for another day of surfing. His hazel eyes gleamed with excitement as he meticulously waxed his surfboard, the scent of the salty sea mingling with the fresh, clean scent of the surfboard wax. He slung his board under his arm and strolled towards the water's edge. The sand was cool beneath his bare feet, and he felt it shift and give way with each step, a sensation that connected him to the earth beneath. As he neared the water, the foamy edges of the waves kissed his toes. Azure Coast Beach was surrounded by a dense, untouched forest. It was an isolated oasis where legends whispered through the locals' conversations, and strange occurrences added an air of mystery. The water welcomed him with a gentle embrace as he waded into its depths. With every stroke, he felt a surge of adrenaline, a reminder of the unparalleled thrill that surfing offered. As he ventured further from the shore, the world beneath the water's surface suddenly stirred with an unusual disturbance. It was no ordinary wave that broke the surface. It was something massive, something that should never have ventured so close to the coast. A colossal tiger shark emerged, its sleek, dark body slicing through the water like a shadowy phantom. Its cold, black eyes seemed to pierce the depths. The tiger shark had been drawn too close to the shore and was clearly agitated. In its frenzied state, it darted erratically, its powerful tail creating whirlpools that churned the water. Jason desperately tried to steer his board away from the predatory creature, but fate seemed to conspire against him, and in a horrifying twist of events, the tiger shark's jaws clamped down on his board, snapping it into pieces, leaving Jason tumbling into the churning water. Jason struggled to resurface, the salt water stinging his injured leg. He could taste the salt on his lips, and the scent of the sea was more intense as he gasped for air. The adrenaline rush was overpowering, and his heart pounded in his chest as he fought his way back to the surface. Gasping for air, he managed to spot a fragment of his shattered board floating nearby, its smooth surface slick against his fingertips. Weak and terrified, he clung to it, the touch of the jagged edge cutting into his palm, a chilling reminder of the danger that lurked below. The massive tiger shark, still in a state of distress, circled back towards him, casting a looming shadow of impending doom. The water was tumultuous, with frothy waves that seemed to mock the serene beauty of the morning. Jason fought to stay afloat, clinging to the shattered remnants of his surfboard. The water, once inviting and clear, now felt like a dark and unpredictable abyss. As the minutes stretched into what felt like endless hours, Jason fought to maintain his composure. He realized that he couldn't simply wait for rescue. With an enormous effort, he began to paddle towards the distant shore, each stroke causing excruciating pain in his injured leg. The pain was intense, a sharp, searing sensation that traveled from his leg to every part of his body. But inexplicably, the great predator veered away, disappearing into the depths, leaving Jason battered and shaken but miraculously alive. The resounding swish of the shark's tail as it vanished beneath the waves echoed in his ears, a haunting sound he would never forget. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Jason reached the shore, his leg injured from a shark encounter. Nearby beachgoers, led by a retired paramedic named Carlos and a woman named Maria, applied first aid to his wound, staunching the bleeding and ensuring his comfort while they called an ambulance. Their swift actions and care eased Jason's ordeal, and he was rushed to the hospital for further treatment. Grateful for the quick response and assistance of the locals, Jason realized the difference their kindness had made during his moment of crisis. The experience left a deep scar on his soul, a memory that would haunt him for the rest of his days. As he lay there gazing out at the vast ocean, he knew that the whispers of the abyss held both beauty and terror, and he had touched upon both in a single unforgettable day. On a moonless night in the chilling autumn of 2022, Benjamin Hargrove, a 33-year-old thrill-seeker with an insatiable curiosity, embarked on a boat tour along the enigmatic coastline of Florida. The boat tour commenced in the serene town of Seaside, a place steeped in history and whispers of long-forgotten horrors. The town was charming, its cobbled streets exuding an eerie nostalgia that hinted at mysteries buried deep within its heart. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an ominous blood-red hue across the water, Benjamin and his fellow passengers embarked on their journey. The boat, christened Mystique, glided smoothly through the waves, its eerie silence accentuated by the backdrop of a starless sky. The air was thick with the scent of salt and brine, and the only sound that broke the silence was the gentle lapping of waves against the boat's wooden hull. Nervous whispers and fearful glances were exchanged among the passengers, suggesting that something was amiss. Even the usually charismatic tour guide, Sarah, had lost her composure. It was as if an unspoken terror had seized their souls. The boat ventured further into the inky blackness, and an unexplained tension settled upon its passengers. The sun had completely vanished, and the sea seemed to absorb all light, creating a pitch-black void. The stars were hidden behind thick, oppressive clouds, leaving the boat's occupants alone in a world of darkness. Each gentle creak of the boat's wooden frame echoed like a ghostly whisper in the silence. Sarah, her voice trembling, began to share stories of the region's history. Her tales were replete with shipwrecks, hidden treasures, and the haunting mysteries lurking beneath the ocean's depths. However, it was the legend of a monstrous predator, a creature that defied description, that sent shivers down their spines. This creature, dreaded but never named, was said to be a sinister presence that lurked in the very waters they were now navigating. It was an embodiment of primordial terror, a guardian of the deep, a force that brooked no intrusion into its realm. Sarah's narrative was chilling as she recounted encounters with this malevolent entity, revealing its relentless and ancient nature. The passengers, huddled in the chilling darkness, listened with a mix of fascination and dread as Sarah spoke of the sinister entity's malevolence. They were captivated and horrified in equal measure, and the legend of the enigmatic predator seemed to take on a life of its own in the shadowy confines of the boat. As Sarah spoke of the creature's ancient nature, the boat lurched suddenly, its wooden hull shuddering under an invisible force. Panic seized the passengers, and Sarah ordered the crew to investigate. The moment they realized the source of the disturbance, terror swept through the boat. A colossal shadow, darker than the night itself, emerged from the abyss. It was a grotesque silhouette, a stark contrast to the starless sky. The passengers' cries of alarm were drowned by the eerie sound of its arrival. The massive shark had revealed itself. In those frenzied moments, Benjamin found himself hurled into the inky abyss at the mercy of this relentless force of nature. The frigid water numbed his senses, and as he fought to regain his bearings, the monstrous shark circled him, its eerie presence sending shivers down his spine. Desperation gripped him as he tried to swim back to the boat, but the dark abyss hindered his movements. The shark closed in, its menacing presence amplified by the chilling water that surrounded them. With a sudden, ferocious thrust, it clamped its jaws onto Benjamin's leg. Agony coursed through Benjamin's body. The water was like ice against his skin, and the salt stung his wounds. On the boat, the crew members, together with Sarah, had been anxiously watching Benjamin's struggle. When they saw the shark make its move, there was no time to waste. They swiftly grabbed a long pole with a hook attached and rushed to the side of the boat. Sarah and the crew acted as a united front, using the pole to jab at the shark, attempting to divert its attention away from Benjamin. The shark, perhaps startled by the aggressive response, released its grip on Benjamin's leg and turned its focus towards the crew, who continued to poke and prod at the massive predator. This daring intervention created the window of opportunity Benjamin needed. He fought through the pain and kicked his way back toward the boat. The crew worked together to pull him on board, their hearts pounding with adrenaline and relief. Benjamin's leg was injured, but he was alive. As the boat sped away from the shark-infested waters, the crew tended to Benjamin's wound, doing their best to provide first aid. The bond between them had deepened through the harrowing experience, and they all knew they had played a crucial role in saving Benjamin from the jaws of a fearsome predator. Upon their return to Seaside, an ambulance was waiting, its paramedics ready to take over Benjamin's care. They rushed him to a nearby hospital, where a team of medical professionals immediately attended to his injuries. The shark bite on his leg was severe, and he required surgery to repair the damage. The surgery was successful, and in the days that followed, Benjamin began his recovery. The support and concern of his family played a significant role in his healing process. Benjamin had survived a life-threatening encounter, and the incident left a lasting impact on him, not just physically, but emotionally as well. As Benjamin continued his recovery, he took up the cause of marine conservation and shark protection, using his ordeal to raise awareness about the fragile balance of life in the ocean. In the remote coastal town of howevs, Western Australia, the crystal-clear waters of the ocean beckoned adventurous souls. Among them was Emily Bennett, a 27-year-old marine enthusiast with a deep fascination for the world beneath the waves. Her life's passion led her to embark on a solo scuba diving expedition one sunny morning in the year 2021. The sun-kissed waters off the Western Australian coast were a mesmerizing canvas of blues and greens, an ever-changing tapestry of colors that shifted as the sun moved across the sky. Emily's heart pounded with anticipation as she descended into this aquatic wonderland. The sensation of cool water enveloping her, the gentle sway of her body with the currents, and the almost hypnotic play of sunlight filtering through the water created a sensory symphony that enthralled her. With every downward stroke, Emily felt the weight of her terrestrial existence lift, replaced by the exhilarating freedom of the ocean. She could hear her own breath as she inhaled the crisp, salty air, and the soft gurgle of the bubbles escaping from her regulator. The dive site she'd chosen was a thriving ecosystem, vibrant with marine life. A kaleidoscope of corals painted the seascape, and schools of fish darted among the reefs, their scales shimmering like jewels. As Emily ventured further into the depths, she was keenly aware of the change in pressure, a subtle reminder of her temporary guest status in this liquid realm. The ocean seemed to whisper secrets to her, a language of underwater currents and hidden creatures. The sensation of floating weightlessly, of being enveloped in a world of liquid dreams, was pure ecstasy. Yet as minutes turned into hours and the ocean's embrace grew stronger, Emily became attuned to another presence beneath the surface. The initial thrill of discovery gradually gave way to a sense of unease. The blue abyss, which had seemed so inviting, now held secrets and shadows. The faint movement in the corner of her eye, a sudden coldness that gripped her heart, were all signs that something had entered her world. It was the silent predator, the tiger shark, its sleek body an embodiment of grace and power. As it moved closer, it revealed rows of serrated teeth that seemed designed for one purpose: to maintain its reign as the apex predator of the ocean. Its eyes, black as the abyss itself, locked onto Emily, an intruder in its domain. Panic surged through Emily, yet she knew that her only chance of survival was to stay calm. Slowly, she began her ascent towards the surface, her movements measured to avoid triggering an attack. The tension in the water was palpable, a palpitation of danger that reverberated through her body. The predator circled below, its presence casting a long, menacing shadow that seemed to stretch infinitely. The closer Emily came to the surface, the brighter the world above seemed. The sunlit realm was a promise of safety, a sanctuary from the predator's relentless pursuit. She was only a few strokes away from breaking free from the underwater world's grasp. Her heartbeat quickened, and the promise of survival beckoned with every stroke. But then, in a horrifying blur, the shark lunged, its immense body propelled by a primordial force. It struck with a fury that sent shockwaves through the water. Emily's world was reduced to a ferocious gaping maw of razor-sharp teeth, clamping down on her oxygen tank. The metallic taste of panic filled her mouth as the tank hissed, the precious air escaping rapidly. Her vision blurred as the world turned into a chaos of bubbles, blood, and fear. Desperation overcame her, and with trembling hands she unclipped the damaged tank, letting it fall to the ocean floor. Her chest ached for the air she couldn't reach in time. With her heart pounding and the relentless predator inches away, she fought her way to the surface, gasping for the sweet relief of air. The world above greeted her with its brilliant sunlight, a stark contrast to the darkness she'd escaped. The surface was her lifeline, her salvation. But the relentless shark, undaunted, circled below, awaiting the moment to strike again. She clung to a piece of floating debris, her body battered, her spirit undaunted. Moments later, in a savage frenzy, the shark lunged once more, its powerful jaws closing around Emily's leg. The pain was searing, her screams muffled by the water. The relentless predator tore at her flesh, leaving a trail of crimson in the water. Her vision blurred with pain and fear, but with every ounce of her remaining strength, Emily fought back. Striking the shark with her dive knife, she unleashed a flurry of blows, driving the predator away. The shark retreated into the depths, vanishing into the blue, leaving Emily battered and bleeding. In the aftermath of the second attack, Emily's body was battered, her leg a mangled mess and her wetsuit stained with her own blood. Her vision was blurred, her body in shock, but her spirit was unbroken. Gasping for breath and struggling to stay afloat, she knew she had to make a desperate swim towards the distant shoreline. In the aftermath of the second shark attack, Emily was battered and bleeding. Fortunately, a fishing boat named the Guardian is nearby and rushed to her aid. The crew pulled her on board, provided first aid, and swiftly transported her to a nearby hospital. Emily's indomitable spirit and the quick response of the Guardian crew played a vital role in her survival. In the hospital, medical professionals worked tirelessly to treat her injuries, setting her on the path to recovery. In the end, Emily's mission to explore the ocean had indeed reached a conclusion, but not in the way she had ever imagined. She had ventured into the depths of suspense and terror, and her survival was a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who dare to venture into the untamed world that lies beneath the surface of the sea. The encounter with the tiger shark had left her with a deep respect for the ocean and a newfound understanding of the delicate balance between humans and the untamed creatures that call the sea their home.